When I was 18 years old, I hadn't really read any books except what the teacher had told me I needed to read. And then I read Sherlock Holmes. And I think I read that book because I thought it was the only good book out there. I read Sherlock Holmes, and I think I read it 3 times. Now I read about 3 books a week. And it is rare to come across a book that is just right in the pocket. This, if you're looking for a summer book, a great summer read, look no further than this one. New thriller hitting the bookstores. It'll keep you on the edge of the seat. By the way, it's James Rollins. How are you, sir?
Thank you.
Good to see you, Jim. I saw a review that said that you don't write books as much as you build roller coasters.
Exactly.
Right. You were the guy who serialized the Indiana Jones books. And this book, I started reading it, and it is, it almost feels kind of like a combination of the Da Vinci Code and National Treasure and Indiana Jones.
I'm always looking for, a bit of history that ends in a question mark, or a bit of science that makes you go, what if? And then I try to sort of mash those two together.
Right.
And sometimes a good story ends up on the plate, other times not so well.
This one starts with prophecy of the popes. What is it, 111 popes?
112 popes.
112 popes.
It goes back to the prophecy of a 12th century Irish saint.
And this is real?
This is real. Mm-hmm. His name was St. Malachi, actually a fairly famous saint in Ireland, just one step down from St. Patrick. Mm-hmm. And he was on a pilgrimage to Rome and had a vision where he saw all the popes from the 12th century all the way to the end of the world. And he wrote descriptions of each of those popes. And now, oddly enough, each of those little descriptions ended up to be accurate.
Like the current pope. What was
current pope, Pope Benedict. Mm-hmm. He's described as the glory of the olives. And where Pope Benedict got his name was from the Benedictine order, whose symbol is the olive branch. So even up to that pope, it was accurate. Now, what's scary about that prophecy, though, is that Pope Benedict is the 111th pope on his list. The very next pope, according to St. Malachi, is the pope that's going to see the world end. So everybody better hope Pope Benedict lives a nice long life.
Seriously, doesn't this show just bring you up? I mean, every day you're like, yeah, another way we're all going to die. Okay, so the next pope, according to this prophecy, but you also get into, there's a scene towards the beginning of a jungle scene where they're trying to grow food. Right. Hybrid food, which scares the crap out of me.
And it should.
Most people don't know this.
Right. I did a lot of research on, if I'm going to write a book about the Doomsday, I thought, how's the world going to end?
Right.
And so I started doing some research into genetically modified plants, corn, wheat, and some disturbing stuff I've ended up discovering. Just to give you one example, out of the 40 or so crops that were approved to be grown in U.S. soil, mm-hmm. only 8 have published safety studies. Now, why should you be concerned about that? Well, once you cast those seeds out to the environment, you lose all control. Mm-hmm. Wind blows the pollen around, rain washes the seeds, cross-pollination. They've found plants that have been genetically modified growing 30 miles from test fields, which is scary.
We also have done testing with corn. Was it did they plant the corn that had the contraceptive in it?
Yes. There was in 2001. A company called Epicite developed a corn strain that had a genetically engineered contraceptive built into it. And if you ate the corn, it lowered your fertility. Now, the question is, why would they do that? What was the advantage in building a corn that has a contraceptive agent in it? So that just intrigued me. Doing further research, I came across this great quote from Henry Kissinger. He said, if you can control oil, you can control nations, which makes sense. But if you control food, you can control all the people of the world. And he firmly believed that. And so it makes you wonder about what they're doing with this genetically modified corn and plants with the contraceptive. Who's trying to control what?
Okay. So you just want to... There's a lot of books. I like read books and I'll be like, I was up all night. This one's like, I was up all night. It is The Doomsday Key, a great summer read. Jim?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I also read this book too. Excellent book.
Why? I wrote that book and you wrote this book.
You did.
This is it. What a coincidence that we're both here. What comes to mind when you think of Barney Frank? Okay, keep that one to yourself. What comes to mind is acorn.